Okay, let's jump right into this explainer with a viral moment from a 2015 Miami courtroom that will literally stop you in your tracks. Most days in a bond hearing, they're completely routine, right?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry to see you there. I always wondered what happened to you, sir.
Oh my goodness.
That was back in June when Bond Court Judge Mindy Glazer recognized a former classmate, Arthur Booth, as he appeared before her facing burglary charges.
I'm sorry to see you there. I always wondered what happened to you.
This afternoon,
Bond hearing, Judge Mindy Glazer looks right at the 49-year-old burglary suspect, a man named Arthur Booth, and asks him a completely unexpected question about middle school. Booth is standing there in his prison uniform. He's obviously expecting the standard procedural stuff that comes with an arrest for burglary. But instead, wow, the absolute whiplash of that moment. Being pulled from the grim reality of a criminal court straight back to childhood, it's just staggering to witness. And his realization, it was immediate. Booth just completely broke down in tears right there in the courtroom as he recognized his former classmate. There was a brief moment of confusion, sure, but when it finally clicked, his entire demeanor just collapsed. He didn't even try to offer a defense. He just buried his head in his hands, repeating, oh my goodness, over and over again. Honestly, it wasn't just the shock of seeing an old friend. It was the crushing weight of where they had both ended up. She was sitting up there on the judge's bench, and he was standing right in front of her in handcuffs. Right then and there, Judge Glazer spoke so frankly to him. She actually told the entire courtroom that he was the nicest kid back at Nautilus Middle School. She reminisced about playing football with him and the other kids, and by reminding him of how bright his future used to be, she told him she was just so sorry to see him in this situation, and she genuinely wished him luck in turning things around. Which brings us to Section 1, Life Inside Miami-Dade. Because look, despite that emotional reunion, Booth still had to face the music. Upon entering the facility, his world was instantly bound by the Inmate Handbook for Miami-Dade Corrections. And guys, this isn't just some quick pamphlet. It's a massive, comprehensive manual detailing every single strict expectation set by the department. From the exact moment he was booked, photographed, and fingerprinted, his entire daily existence was governed by these pages, which are all about maintaining a highly controlled environment. To put it into perspective, under Florida Statute 951.22, pretty much anything could be considered a violation if it wasn't explicitly approved. We're talking currency, altered property, unapproved food, and definitely tobacco or narcotics. Just introducing any of those items into the facility, that's classified as a third-degree felony. Every single item he possessed was strictly monitored, literally right down to his uniform and the clear plastic bag he was given to keep his stuff in. Plus, he had to endure a really intense daily regimen with basically zero downtime. The facility demanded 24-hour accountability. They had frequent head counts where absolutely no movement or talking was allowed. None. Inmates also faced these unannounced periodic shakedowns of their housing units. Oh, and housekeeping? Strictly enforced. Sweeping and mopping floors every single day, scrubbing sinks, and even keeping windowsills completely free of clutter. And anytime he stepped out of his cell, a full uniform was mandatory, no exceptions. Now, what's really interesting here is that as a medically cleared county-sentenced inmate, Booth was actually required to work during his time there. If you check out Section I of the handbook, it clearly states that if an inmate isn't assigned to a specific rehab program, they're automatically put on inmate worker status. So he had to perform work either inside or outside the facility. And refusing to work, that could result in administrative action. So yeah, this was a rigorous, demanding 10 months. For almost 10 straight months, Booth lived under these totally uncompromising rules. But finally, by April 2016, his time was up. He was scheduled for release on a special court program, finally ready to step back out into the real world. Moving on to Section 2, the release and promise.
This was a rigorous,
Okay, so when Booth walked out those jail doors in April 2016, guess who was waiting for him? His former classmate. Judge Glazer actually stepped entirely out from behind the judicial bench to meet him with a huge hug upon his release. Now, his family was there too, which is great. But having the actual judge who sentenced you standing there waiting, that is literally extraordinary. But she didn't just welcome him back. She gave him a very personal, very direct challenge. Point blank, she looked at him and said, "This is a group effort to see you succeed." She told him to get a job, stay clean, and take care of his family, which is great. And right then and there, standing outside the county jail, Arthur Booth made a promise to his childhood friend that he he was going to turn over a new leaf. Which takes us to our final part, Section 3, keeping the promise today. And here is the amazing part. Booth didn't just say he'd do better. He actually put in the relentless work over the next decade. Step 1, he attended a drug rehab treatment program to finally conquer the addictions that kept landing him in prison. Then he got a job, and slowly but surely he worked his way up the corporate ladder. Fast forward to today, he literally travels the country as a manager for a Florida-based pharmaceutical company. He even bought a house and continues to provide for his family. He fulfilled the exact instructions Judge Glazer gave him on the very day of his release. When he reflects on his journey today, Booth totally credits the judge as his absolute inspiration for getting a new lease on life. In an interview, he talked about how incredible Mindy is to him. He fully acknowledges the dark path he was on, and he knows exactly where he could have ended up if that court intervention hadn't happened. But instead of throwing in the towel, he leaned into her belief in him. It really just proves that appearing before a judge isn't always the end of the road. Sometimes it's exactly the wake-up call you need. So I want to leave you with this final thought today. Think about how simply reminding someone of their true worth can completely alter the trajectory of their entire life. All it took was one person remembering the best kid in middle school to help pull a man out of a vicious cycle of crime and elevate him into a thriving, successful professional. It's a truly profound testament to the power of human connection. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I really hope this incredible story stays with you for a long time. Completely alter the trajectory of their entire life. All it took was one person remembering the best kid in middle school to help pull a man out of a vicious cycle of crime and elevate him into a thriving, successful professional. It's a truly profound testament to the power of human connection. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I really hope this incredible story stays with you for a long time.